Okay, hit it.
Okay, Senate Bill 707 is a spin on I think bills you've heard for the last 2 years. And the original bill that I wrote was much broader. This one is extremely narrow, and it has to do with child care. So, you all heard me say a little bit on the floor today, but child care, especially in Northern Virginia, is extremely expensive. There's been numerous studies that have said it's the most expensive place to get child care in the United States of America. And one of the ways that child care is made less expensive if it's provided in the home. And as soon as you start providing child care in the home, you start getting into HOA issues. And this bill, by the way, only deals with HOAs, not condos and not co-ops. So some of the problems that have arisen in Northern Virginia, at least I'm not in Northern Virginia, and if they've happened in other parts of the state, I'm not aware of it yet, but it's probable, is that some child care providers have run into situations where they've gone out and they've gotten their state license, they get a local license, because Fairfax and Prince William, probably Loudoun as well, and Arlington, Alexandria all have local licenses as well. They get a zoning approval for an accessory use, because all those localities allow child care as an accessory use under the zoning ordinance to occur in your home. And then they start operating, and then lo and behold, time passes, and then somebody on the HOA decides that they want to start enforcing HOA rules against them, which they either don't enforce or don't consistently enforce, or that people didn't know existed. So the original bill had to do with HOA rules that prohibited home businesses. And instead of affecting every home business in a community, what this bill simply says now is that if a child care, or if it's an HOA that is in a locality where child care is licensed by the locality, and that's probably only a handful of localities in the state. I suspect most localities in the state don't locally license child care. If that locality classifies home-based child care as an accessory use, which again, most localities don't, mainly only the really urbanized ones do, then an HOA can prohibit child care in that HOA. It says they can if their declaration says they can. So if their declaration, the Constitution for the HOA, says that they have the power to ban child care, they can do that. They just have to pass a rule that specifically bans child care. And that does not require some super duper majority of 80% or 75% or whatever. Most HOAs allow them to pass rules, whether that's, you got regulating where you have your dog poop or what color your shutters are, or, whether you can put the American flag on your house. Most HOAs, you can do that by about 50% vote, and either do an architectural standards committee, or the board can pass a rule. This says that they can do that as long as they pass a specific rule that says childcare, so that when people purchase their home, they see that rule, they see childcare is not allowed, and they know it in advance. A lot of these folks who this affects negatively tend to be non-native English speakers. In Northern Virginia, a lot of people that open up home child cares are immigrant families that come in and they buy, and one of the ways they're able to afford a home is the husband works and the wife stays at home and cares for children and earns money to help pay for the house that way, and frequently that's some of the only jobs they can get. And so it's important that this be clear, that it be disclosed in advance, and because a lot of people, when they read home business, they don't think child care, especially when it's an accessory use and it's allowed. So that's the idea, and I have a couple people here to testify in favor of the bill.
All right, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee, for allowing me to speak. My name is Mary Braxton. I'm a licensed family child care provider, or was a licensed family child care provider in both Fairfax County and Prince William County for over 27 years. I did it as a way to earn an income and have my children home with me at the same time. I served on the Virginia Alliance of Family Child Care Associations for 20 years. That is an association representing family child care providers across the state of Virginia. And this has continually been a problem for many, many years. I'm also with the Family Child Care Advocacy Coalition currently, and I currently work with Child Care Network in Fredericksburg, Virginia. We are a nonprofit organization working to represent and help family providers or families looking for child care, as well as child care providers in over 25 cities and counties. And again, I can tell you this is happening and across the large area of Virginia. The worst thing to get is a phone call from a parent seeking childcare, and in their area, there is no regulated childcare option. Their only option is to put their child in an unregulated setting. That unregulated setting will have no background checks, no first aid CPR training, and let's be honest, for the last several years, we've been looking at legislation and hearing these parents and grandparents tell their stories of how their children have died in unregulated childcare settings. Well, in order to fully, support regulated childcare to occur, we need to look at the barriers that are in place currently and see if we can address those and correct it. A couple examples of it happening. There's a provider, Prince William County. She operated for 25 years in her community, 25 years as a licensed family child care provider. Different HOA board came in, wasn't a problem. As the board turned over for 25 years, all of a sudden, the current board had a problem. You need to close down and you have 30 days to do it. She battled and she went through $8,000 worth of funds until she couldn't battle it anymore, and she closed her doors. Another provider.
I think we understand the argument.
Okay, thank
Is
you.
anyone else wish to speak in support of this?
Thank you.
All right, is anyone here in opposition? You were standing up. Did you want to speak for it?
We have two more for support.
All right, come on up very quickly.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. My name is Serena No, and I'm here today on behalf of Childcare Aware of Virginia, a nonprofit organization that works statewide to help families find childcare and provide training and business support to the childcare provider workforce. We support Senator Surovell's bill, which would help ensure that families with young children have as many safe, legal options as possible when searching for childcare. Childcare is hard for parents to find and even harder to afford, and too often parents have difficulty finding licensed childcare in their communities. Currently, the state sets licensing policy. Any individual who passes a background check and cares for 5 or more unrelated children can obtain a license to operate a childcare business out of their home. Licensing provides some basic rules to ensure that children are safe. It's not a paperwork exercise. When HOAs set restrictive policies that prohibit the legal operation of licensed childcare, it's the families who suffer. It means that they have to leave their communities to find childcare elsewhere. For some families, that leads them to find unlicensed childcare, either within the neighborhood, which flies under the radar, or outside the community. Nearly 70 children, mostly infants, have died in unlicensed childcare in Virginia in the last 10 years.
Okay.
We don't need
I think we get the point of
Okay.
what you're saying. Yes, we need more
Thank you.
childcare, licensed childcare. Yes. Welcome.
Hello, Mr. Chairman and committee. This is Neelam Abbas. I have the state licensing from 2005, and I moved 2011 in my new community, but two last community, they don't have, actually, I know about the HOA in 2011. I moved in there in my community, and 2014, I got a notice. After 2 years operating the childcare, you have to shut down in 2 weeks because you have a business. I said, what kind of business I have? Then I find out this is a childcare. So there 3 years I battled. I don't want to say my whole 3-year story, but I want to just share my worst part, that they make me to go to take the 100 signature from the month of January and February. So I wasn't thinking that it will be so much hard, but whenever I go to the people's house, I can't come back, sit in my house and just cry because people don't open the door. I think how I can make the people open the door. So that's why I make my banner. I put in my here and make my science fair board project. Here I put my all qualification or all my requests, and when people just knock the door and open the window, I just say, hey. I was just begging them,
Okay.
please listen to me. Please. And some people then finally start open the door because they know I'm not a seller, I'm a homeowner.
Okay. Thank
Oh
you
my
very
goodness.
much.
So month of January, February to carry all that stuff, go people the house and take 100 signature. That was the worst part of my life. I have 4 children. They help me a lot. My husband has to go to the work, and 5 days I work, and 2 days I just go begging for the people, listen to me, because I told them I have a state license, because people ask me one question. If state permission you, state give you the license, you have all qualification, and county gave you the zoning permit, everything, who we are?
Okay, thank you.
So I need that question answered too, that why I have to begging the people if I have all that
We
requirement
have other
completed.
legislation. I think everybody
Everything.
understands the issue, okay?
Yes.
All right.
So, okay.
It's-
Okay. I
Thank
have
you
a
for your
lot of,
passion.
but
I
okay.
appreciate that.
Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Is there anyone in opposition to the bill?
Mr. Chairman, Pia Trigiani, on behalf of Community Associations Institute, we have 4 speakers from 4 homeowners associations, presidents of Cascades in Loudoun County, Westridge in Prince William County, Stone Ridge in Loudoun County, and Brander Mill in Chesterfield County to speak to the issues and concerns. We are not opposed to daycare. We are opposed to businesses that exceed what is considered a home business. We do not agree respectfully with the senator. We do not believe a rule is sufficient enough to allow an association to restrict the activities or to moderate the activities. Time and time again, in the courts in Virginia are ruling that authority for rulemaking has to be based on the recorded documents. So any change and any moderation that would happen with respect to the conduct of these businesses could not happen by rule alone. It would have to be in the recorded declaration. But I'd like to invite these gentlemen, first Matt Durham, who's the president of Cascades.
Welcome.
Mr. Chair, Senators, I'm going to amend my prepared remarks based on the substitute. My name is Matt Durham, as Pia said. I'm the volunteer president of the Cascades Community Association, which is about a 2,500-acre planned residential community along the Potomac in both Loudoun and Fairfax counties. Cascades is a multiple award-winning HOA and has roughly 20,000 residents. We're also unique because we're very ably represented by 2 senators, Senator Wexler and Senator Fovolas. We have a few things unique about us. It's very much my honor and privilege to testify today. Thank you for the opportunity to express my opposition to Senate Bill 707. Our governing documents, considered to be model examples by many experts in the industry, were drafted to create flexibility while also establishing limited restrictions on the use of property and conduct of our residents and owners. That structure has served our community well for nearly 3 decades. Senate Bill 707 substantially harms our ability to self-govern, according to the documents we inherited from the developer who drafted them. These documents provide protections, which we understand some consider limitations, that our owners and residents expect will be followed by all. If adopted and enacted into law, the bill could lead to the residential nature of our community substantially shifting towards commercial use, something we're exceedingly concerned about. Cascades has home-based businesses, including childcare, and the uses work well. We've received little objection from owners and residents. These home daycares include licensed facilities, and the HOA routinely receives notice from local zoning offices concerning proposed daycare home uses. We've never raised objection to them. We're not opposed to home-based businesses, but we are opposed to this bill because of the restrictions it puts on us. Thank you very much for your time, and I urge you to oppose the bill.
Welcome.
Mr. Chairman, Senators, thank you for the opportunity to talk to you today and urge you to vote no on this bill. My name is Tom Burrell, and I've served on HOA boards for over 20 years, almost consecutively, currently serving as president of 2 different homeowners association boards. One is the Westridge Swim and Racket Club located in Prince William County and consists of 1,530 homes, single-family townhouse condominiums and apartments. The other is a modest gated community of 40 single-family homes in the city of Fairfax. This bill allows commercial enterprise without regard to the character and nature of the neighborhood, and it could destroy any hope for quiet enjoyment of property through increased traffic, noise, strain on common facilities, and potential liability. This bill also erodes the ability of communities to self-govern as intended and mandated by their governing documents. While I understand the scope of the original bill has been reduced dramatically I still believe that the best judge, if you will, for allowing any type of commercial activity in a residential community are the owners who live in that community. HOA boards are the stewards of the resources necessary to maintain a high standard for quality of life and best situated to evaluate the impact on the neighborhood. Therefore, I strongly urge you to vote no on Senate Bill 707. Thank you.
Welcome.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I'm Mike Rhodes. I'm here today on behalf of the Stone Ridge Association and our board of directors. We're a 15-year-old community of over 3,000 homes in about 1,000 acres in southeastern Loudoun County and Senator Black's district. And I've served on the board for 11 years and been president for the past 2. And I'll be brief. Mr. Chairman, the residents are best suited to determine what types of home-based businesses are or are not suited for their particular community. As a longtime member of the Homeowners Association Board, I can tell you that we have had numerous requests for home-based businesses, including many child care providers, and we permit child care, and we've never denied a single request. Mr. Chairman, simply put, there's nothing wrong with Section 55.513.2 of the POA Act as written, and on behalf of Stone Ridge, I just ask that you deny the SB 707.
Okay. Does that, Jack, are you standing there for a reason?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was waiting for all the homeowner associations to finish it.
Good afternoon again. My name is Greg Pearson. I represent, I'm serving on the Brandonville Board of Directors. I think it's obvious that large HOAs such as ours would oppose something that goes contrary to our documents. Last year, thanks to a request by Delegate Lee Ware, the State Attorney General's office ruled that a specific clause in our documents is legal. It prohibits in-home businesses that generate foot traffic of customers or clients to the doorsteps of single-family homes in residential zoning. If approved, Bill 707 will negate the contract signed by the owners of those 3,800 homes. I urge you to reject this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Mr. Chairman, John Rust, on behalf of the Virginia Association of Community Managers. I won't be brief. I'll associate my remarks with Ms. Trisciani. I would simply say that in looking at the substitute, I'm concerned, and Senator Surovell and I differ on this, that it appears that the substitute is overriding the declaration unless you in fact pass a rule. We think the declaration has to control in these things. That's what the basis of the condominium is. We urge you to oppose the bill.
Thank you. All right. Has everything been said that needs to be said?
Pretty much. I don't agree with Pia and Mr. Rust. I mean, the last sentence says they can do this to the extent the declaration says they can do it. It doesn't override the declaration. It says they can only do it if the declaration says they can do it, but I guess we disagree about that.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion when appropriate.
Now is a good time.
I'd like to make a motion that we PBI this.
Is there a second? Properly moved and seconded that Senate Bill 707 be PBI'd. Any further discussion? Hearing none, record your votes.
Ayes 10, noes 5.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right.